And I even hear tell about some guys on the internet who are working on some kind of podcast contraption. It'll never work.
Yes, Mutineers, Swaggle Swabs, Scalawags, and Sons of Bitches, the Wibbly Wobbly, officially unofficial, wildly inaccurate, yet dead nuts on podcast. And oh boy, do we have a show for the teleprompter stopped.
Oh, and some audio also stopped.
Just some.
Jake watched a thing. Something about Splash Mountain and the Mickey Mutineers, Lawn Chair Imagineers, something else.
Yeah, we do. News guy, I'm going to be right honest with you. I completely forgot about your entire existence.
That's okay.
Yeah, I bet he's just been sitting in a corner just waiting.
Where has the news guy been this entire time?
I was doing the news.
Holy shit, dude, why are you not exhausted?
Yeah.
I've been asleep for a week straight.
Wait, hold on. For a week straight?
Yes.
Have you?
What happened this week?
Oh, wait, buddy, you said weeks, as in more than one. From how long? How long is weeks? I need to know.
I don't know. I woke up with this beard.
So, probably a long time.
So, like, since February? Since earlier this month? I did a lot of time in between that.
I believe I was in cryogenic stasis mode. That's a big word.
Everything you just said still isn't answering my question.
Yeah.
Hold on. News guy, do you know any current event?
And what day it even is?
No, let me give you.
It is Monday.
Do you know any current event? Because this is What?
Hold on. I will get to it.
No, you can't look things up. What was the last thing you remember?
In all fairness,
it's 65 degrees Fahrenheit.
Then stop looking at the weather channel.
It's partly cloudy. and the winds are about 10 miles an hour from the west. Tomorrow is going to be better. Tonight's overnight low is 39 degrees, and tomorrow will be a high of 78.
I have my doubts that tomorrow is going to be any better.
Yeah.
A truer statement has never been said on this podcast.
That is more truth than you'll find in any media outlet.
And now we go to our man on the street, Dimitri.
Oh, God.
Wait. I still didn't get my answer. How long have you been asleep?
Too late.
He's good. He's good. It's a good time.
Is it?
It's a good time. I make lots of money.
Wait! How is Dimitri making money?
I go to... I rob. It's fine. Nobody catch me.
I mean, everybody's wearing masks, so... Wait, no, I take that back. Nobody is wearing masks, so...
They should.
How about most people?
It's good.
Because I wear a freaking mask. So I
hate to tell you, you are not most people, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm smart, like most people.
Oh, guys, fucking... I'm in California, and it's required right now, right? Going to Walmart... I think... I might have said this last week, too. But going to Walmart, nobody's wearing a mask except for me and the fucking employees.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Safeway won't even let you through the door without a mask.
Nice.
Good. Like, even when, on the off chance I do go to a Walmart or store, it's like everyone's just no mask. Only a few people, like mainly older people, and I'm like the only other one that's also wearing a mask. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
Man.
my mask may be thin, but hey, it's a fucking mask. I don't want to get this shit.
Yeah, I've got the. Oh God, I had a scare last week with it.
See?
We can't see. Hold it towards your face. There you go. Now we can see it.
Yeah, it's just thin cloth.
You got the neck gaiter. I've got neck gaiters.
Yeah, but that's what I wear in public,
So
and it's fine. Nothing wrong with it.
I've got a helicopter like 2.5 hours south of here, and on my day off last week, Monday, my mechanic calls me up that morning. He's in the truck with his pilot. They have to go get a COVID test because someone on their fire crew fucking tested positive.
Oh no!
But they did both the quick test and the one that's more accurate. It takes a few days.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, the quick test for both of them came back negative. And then they weren't around the guy that had the COVID shit anyways. And so, come to find out, staying at the same hotel as a pilot as he's going on to his days off.
Oh no.
And I walk across the street to the after we did the podcast last week to Great Basin Brewing. Just gonna grab a beer because, you know, fucking 7:30 at night. That's a good time to just grab a beer real quick and go back to the room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pilot that I know is in there, so I sit next to him at the bar because, you know, that morning he was positive, or he was negative.
Oh no.
And then come to find out, second crewman on that group tested positive, and he was in very close contact with that person. And he was told to go to the hotel, stay the fuck inside the hotel, and then go get on his way home the next morning, and don't come in contact with anybody. And here I was, I didn't know any of this until after I had a couple beers with him.
Oh.
And so I got back up here, and I've been in my trailer all fucking week until he finally fucking tested negative because I couldn't get a test. Even though I'm a first responder, I had no symptoms, so they wouldn't test me. So, yeah. Fuck
guys,
shit, man.
So as a
want-
public service announcement from the Mickey Mutineers, you should wear your goddamn mask. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're around someone who's had it, stay the fuck inside.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
Definitely.
I know.
But
No, go ahead, Jordan.
my freedom.
No, I wish I didn't.
freedom.
What happens?
Did
What
you
happens
see,
to
did you
all
guys
of my
see?
freedom? Josh, my freedom, Josh.
Did you guys see?
Josh, my freedom.
Did you guys see? Did you guys see Vanessa's Facebook post yesterday?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you guys see Vanessa's Facebook post yesterday?
The one where it shows the differences on how much goes through
No, that
a
was
mask
mine this
versus
morning.
what doesn't.
No, the
Yeah.
one yesterday. I had
You catch up dishes?
Well, the one Vanessa posted yesterday was showing how they put a freaking ventilator down your throat.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw that.
Then
Ugh.
someone said, well, I've got asthma and the mask makes me so I can't breathe. First off, no, it fucking doesn't.
No, first off, the asthma is what makes you not breathe.
Yeah.
And the
Does not change. The mask does not change your fucking oxygen levels.
You think that somebody with asthma would
But-
realize that it's not the mask that makes them not be able to breathe?
But then,
Hold on, I'm
Vanessa-
going to say that slower.
No,
Somebody
we got it.
with asthma. Yeah, and you know the rest. Whatever.
So
Yeah.
Vanessa replied to her, And then she said, well, it's about my freedom.
You get the hell out!
Which is it?
Right?
Which is it, though? Is it about your fucking asthma or is it about your freedom, you dumb fucking twat? Jesus Christ.
Maybe to talk to Jordan.
I have a really big growing
What?
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Jake. What? Josh sends Jake pictures of his ass. I send Jake pictures of my dick. What?
What is happening? He's not wrong.
It's okay. It's 2020, man. And it's June
Hey.
still. We can do
Hey.
that.
I send him all kinds of dick pics. He gets Dick York, Dick Sargent,
I used
Dick
to
Van
send Jake
Dyke.
those dick pics.
Don.
I sent him
Anyway,
a picture of Dick Cheney
Alright.
once, and that's where he drew the line finally.
It shot me in the face. Getting shot in the face by a dick.
no, I have this really uneasy, uncomfortable feeling that's just growing more and more each day about people's comprehension and perception of what they claim is their freedom, but also in conjunction to just America as a whole. Right? It's like, we're America. We have freedom. Yeah, a lot of fucking countries have freedom.
Yeah.
America's not really any different in kind of the fact that it's people like you that are making our country suck. But I don't want like this obsession with, well, it's my freedom. Like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know.
We really don't have freedom. We have the most fucking imprisoned fucking population per capita of any fucking country in the world.
But
Well,
it's not about actually having freedom. It's the fact that people claim that they have freedom, but as part of this umbrella of like patriotic American pride.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like
Can
it's so egotistical and big-headed of somebody to be like, I'm American, therefore I have freedom.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of ridiculous stuff.
Can I add to that real quick? Because I've invented a paradox that goes right in line with this.
Okay.
And it's the mask paradox.
Is there a boat between them?
What?
Is there a boat between them?
No, not. Shut up, Josh. It's not a paradox. No, it's the mask paradox, where these people that Jordan's talking about complaining about their freedoms with the masks. However, entire communities or states, in our case, who are not going for the masks are having their freedoms taken away by getting more restrictions put on them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the paradox. Wear your mask, you actually get more freedoms.
Yeah.
Don't wear your mask, your community gets sick, suddenly your bars and restaurants are closed again. That's my mask paradox.
We all know it's going to happen again.
No, it's happening already. It's happening.
It's going to happen again, and it's because all of these people couldn't keep it in their fucking pants for 2.5 months.
Yes.
It's going to happen again. It's like we're not going to see a second wave. The first wave is just not going to fucking stop.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
And it's fucking ridiculous.
No, I'm not talking about a second wave. The idea of a second wave is non-existent because the first wave hasn't ended. It's the fact that people are reopening because they think the first wave has ended, and it hasn't, which means that during the first wave, they are going to close down all this shit again.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just fucking ridiculous.
So, on that note, real quick before we get into Disney, because we have a lot to talk about there too, I just want to point out that today I read in my local news Facebook page the announcement for their 4th of July celebration right here in our town. And there's going to be parades and festivals and fireworks and all sorts of gatherings. And this is a large group of people who does not believe in masks. So, if you need me Saturday night, I will be right here on my ass in my apartment. Because I am not going to participate in the spreading of this shit. And our numbers are taking off here.
Yeah,
Utah's
that's not
top
good.
5. I'm pretty sure Georgia is too.
Dude, when I got up here to up here, Lassen County, the whole fucking pandemic, they've only had 7 people catch the fucking shit, right?
8 people.
Wow.
This week, it jumped up to 30. It's like
Holy
a 325% fucking increase this week.
Yep. Look, I'm putting a fake smile on because I know we are screwed, and this is feeling like... Remember that week in March when this all started, and we talked about the dominoes falling and just watching it go, oh no.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen 2.5 months later again. And worse. Ugh. Anyway, guys, let's talk some Disney.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Much needed.
Fuck everything.
Oh, man.
Look, now normally...
Holy cow. You guys
Well,
ever fart and you can't even stand the smell of your own fart?
No,
Oh, God,
because
this
everybody
is
likes
bad.
their own brand.
this is true.
Oh, no, this is bad.
Guys, I'm going to be right honest with you. If there wasn't
Oh.
insanely major news this week, I just have not been in the mood to talk about theme parks with everything going to shit. Is anyone with me on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Nah,
like
I-
there
I
is
mean,
lots
I
of
actually
interesting
think,
things for theme parks. It's just
Holy shit,
I
who is
mean-
talking?
me. Sorry.
Wait, no. Robbie, say what you were saying, but start over. Josh, after Robbie, it's your turn.
Hey, you know what? I'm in the middle of nowhere with no good internet connection. There was a fucking lag.
Now, you were in the same place last week, and it was just fine last week.
Yeah, I was in a hotel last week. Anyways, go ahead, Rob.
So there's a lot of interesting theme park news. Like definitely, it's just all this shit that is happening is more worse and slightly more important than a theme park at the moment because this stuff is just bullshit.
Yes. But before we get into theme parks, guys, I want to talk about something I watched on Disney Plus.
Which is
Have you seen that Making of Frozen 2 docuseries?
no.
I haven't.
I watched the first episode. Now, this is made for a very, very select group of people. And I like people who are interested in animation, songwriting, you know, the creative process.
Yeah.
Which I'm not trying to gatekeep here. Like, I'm sure we all have interest in that. And I also have interest in that. I found it fascinating. Like, the amount of effort. So I think it's 6 episodes long. I've watched the first episode, and just the amount of effort they put into that first episode. And, like, it starts to get stressful because they're like, we only have 9 months till the premiere. And we don't even have Show Yourself made yet. That
Oh,
song.
jeez.
And, like, it gets stressful. And you see, like, the orchestra making the music. You see the 2 songwriters making the music before the orchestra makes the music. And, guys, I am in love with this documentary. This is one of the greatest things I've seen since Frozen 2, which is also fantastic. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what it is about Frozen 2's music, but they start playing that, and they had the full orchestral score playing. Tears.
Mhm.
I am a sucker for a crescendo. I'll say it right now. And when it's an emotional crescendo, it's even better. But I have no shame in that. I'll have tears in the theater if you ever see a movie with me.
So are you team Into the Unknown or team Lost in the Woods?
Like, are those my 2 choices?
Yes.
Because that's a rough choice, man.
Yeah, both are really good songs.
Those are
The
fantastic.
first part of Into the Woods is slightly cringy, but
What? No, it's not. You take that back, sir.
well, it's a good song. It's just the part before it was just super cringy.
It was an 80s power ballad, and I loved it. I'd have to say, okay, hear me out. I'm going to go with Into the Unknown, but like a slight edge, and here's why. Because when Thor shows up on your podcast, uninvited, it really distracts you when you're trying to talk about Nordic mythology. Hey, wait a minute! How'd you like that improv?
That was perfect. Like
I
for a
didn't even
second there, I
notice
was
that
like,
until you mentioned it.
oh, okay.
Anyway, no, so the only reason I'm going to take Into the Unknown over Lost in the Woods, but aside, my number 1 is Show Yourself. That song is effing amazing and perfect. No, I didn't. That wasn't a demand. No, hide yourself, Thor. Get back. I usually, and by usually I mean up until Frozen 2, despise the pop version of the hit song that plays over the credits. I've never liked it. Never once. However, Show
Into
Yourself
the
is a
Unknown.
fantastic song. And then when Panic at the Disco plays did I say Show Yourself? Into the Unknown. When Panic at the Disco plays it over the credits, man, that was an amazing version also. So I'm like, I have two amazing versions of this song, and that's why. So
Yeah.
why, Jordan? What team are you on?
On my first, I mean, I've only watched the movie once, and I've only heard each song once, but I feel like I might be leaning towards Into the Unknown.
It's really good.
It is good.
And also,
which song? Sorry. Fuck.
How long have you been out?
This is fucking bullshit.
Yep.
Had better internet in fucking Haiti than I do here in California.
Well, if only somebody could give you a little boost of energy, like lightning or something. Yeah. Is Thor a Sith?
That's holy shit! It just got all fucking crackly in my earpiece. What happened?
Thor showed up.
Oh.
That happens.
See, audio listener, if you'd watch the damn YouTube videos, you'd understand what's going on. This is on you.
Visual gag. Visual gags on an audio podcast.
So what's the song where she's in the ocean, turn the ocean to ice and slush and shit, and getting pummeled by waves?
That's not a song. That's a scene.
Yeah, there's not a song there.
I thought she was singing it. Oh.
All right.
Maybe that was just the trailer.
That was in the trailer. But she also was not singing in that scene in the trailer. Wait, have you seen the movie,
was
Josh?
The song in the trailer. Yeah. But once, and I don't really remember it right now. I remember it, but I don't remember the songs.
No, you don't. I forgot we have to move on. We have to move on from Frozen.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
because
let's go. Go.
Okay.
Come on, go.
We're gonna have to. No, Josh, shut the hell up. No, stop. You're giving me a panic attack. Thor is making me nervous. Guys, we're going to try to do this respectfully and tastefully. Now, who am I kidding? Let's talk about Splash Mountain.
It's really awesome that they're changing it.
No, hold on. Maybe we should say what's happening with Splash Mountain first.
Robbie just wants to jump in head first.
Sorry.
How long have you been on this show?
So
he's fine. He's doing it right.
I'll wait.
So this is a genetic issue. Come on, that was funny.
How did you skip out on that, Gene?
I'm adopted.
So am I. All right.
Yeah,
hey, up top.
Nice. Anyway, so it was announced a couple days ago. I've lost track of the flow of time, so I don't actually know how long ago this was announced. That Splash Mountain in both Magic Kingdom and Disneyland will be Song of the South is getting the boot, and Princess of the Frog is moving in.
Which is really cool that it's being changed. And
yeah, it's honestly about goddamn time. It was fucking outdated when it came out.
Yeah, and it kept on breaking down because of all the old America Sings animatronics just shoved into the ride. Hopefully those get just ripped apart.
No, I hope they get skinned and put into the Star Tours queue.
Yeah.
So many
That'd be awesome.
No,
you wouldn't even notice.
I think it's really funny how a lot of people who are like trying to justify keeping Splash Mountain,
like it's a great ride. It's just the stuff behind it.
What's behind it? The parking lot?
No. Like the movie that's based off of, basically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
All right, go ahead, Jordan. What?
No, it was just like one of the justifications. I've seen this a couple times on Twitter. It was like, this has been there since the park opened. Bitch, it was built in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's only 25 years old.
Wait,
Wait.
what?
Or
That's
20,
really
25 or 20. It was built in
No,
like
no, no.
the early to middle 90s.
Somebody really fucking said that?
Yeah.
What
You
the
telling me to drink?
fucking shit, man?
Okay, I was gonna complain about people. I haven't seen that yet, but also I'm not surprised. What the hell?
Yeah.
First of all, I want to point out before we get into like the theming and that, because we're gonna tackle the theming head on. But first, I just want to point out that Robbie brought up a really good point. Maybe for the first time ever on this episode.
On this episode, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, that wasn't mean. That was not mean.
Not really.
It was.
If anything, it's encouraging.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Robbie,
no,
you should-
no,
you should have
that
more
was
best
this
ideas.
episode, though.
Yeah, well, he has to start over next week. Anyway, let's not pretend that the
Okay.
first Splash Mountain in Disneyland wasn't a ride built on a cheap because they had a plethora of unused animatronics that they didn't know what to do with. And Tony Baxter, in the middle of a car wash, had the idea that, hey, we have a whole shitload of animatronics. We have who were designed by Mark Davis, who actually was an animator on Song of the South. Bop-a-da-bop-bop-bop. We'll put him in a Knott's Berry Farm log flume. What is that noise? What is that noise?
I have
What?
no clue.
Josh?
Stop it.
What?
Why? How long have you been on this podcast?
Since Disneyland was opened.
Congratulations. Mickey Mutineers is the longest running podcast in the history.
And not just Disney podcasts. We are the longest running podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. We invented the podcast back in 1955.
Bunch of milestones we're
Wow.
crossing
Yeah.
here.
Hey guys, congratulations.
Hey,
Oh, thanks, Jake. Good job.
high five, everybody.
Woo! Anyway, and I'm not saying this because I don't like Splash Mountain. I thoroughly enjoyed Splash Mountain. There's a
Yeah.
reason it was one of the most popular rides in the park. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, and what it is an outdated, old, rotten idea.
Definitely.
I think it's hilarious. And when I say hilarious, I don't mean hilarious at all. I just mean in poor taste. That by the time this ride opened, Jake, fact check me on this. Show
Come
me,
on in.
tell me what 2 years both Splash Mountains opened up.
Okay, hold on. I got this.
All right.
Talk while you're doing
92
this.
for Disneyland.
What?
92 for Disneyland.
90, I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
90.
Disneyland. I thought Disneyland was 89.
All right, so it's been open
Oh,
for 27 years
maybe.
at Disneyland.
Oh, why can't I find anything? Okay, I got it. July 17th, 1989 for Disneyland, and October 2nd, 1992 for Magic
All right.
Kingdom.
So almost 31
Okay,
years.
so I have back to front.
And then what was Disney World? 92?
92.
Yeah.
All right. So 27 and 31 years. I am for certain, or almost for certain, 99.9% certain that by the time the first Splash Mountain opened up, you could not purchase Song of the South on VHS. Like
No.
I am certain that they took that out of circulation far before.
More than likely.
I'm pretty sure you're right. You know why? Because it's fucking racist.
It is racist. It's racist as shit.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna, let's see. So, wow, this is gonna shock you, Jordan. So I'm
Okay.
not sure. Okay, so what you just said is mostly right for the United States.
Right.
However,
it was still available overseas.
right.
Yeah.
And it came out on home media in
Yeah.
United Kingdom in 83, 86, 91, 92, 96, and as early as 2000.
Holy shit.
Overseas.
Overseas. Emphasis on
Shit.
overseas.
So
But
the fact that somebody said, you know what we need to build a ride out of? That fucking movie that we can't sell.
Right.
Why?
That was one terrible idea.
Why would somebody pitch that idea and then somebody go, oh shit, that's a great idea, and then run with it not once but twice for two different parks,
and then say, hey, let's not call it Zippity Doo Dah Mountain, let's name it after a completely unrelated movie.
Yeah. But hold on. Jordan, you not only are you right, I'm about to read to you how insanely right you are.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Song of the South has never had a home video release in the United States. Never.
Ever. On VHS. Ever.
Nothing. Like, the animated shorts have been released as part of other little shorts, but in its completion, in the complete film, never been released in the U.S. Ever.
Wow.
Officially.
Because there are tons of bootlegs in Savannah. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, right.
There's one in Jake's closet.
But they've been releasing it all namby-pamby overseas, so that makes it easy. I'm pretty sure you can watch the whole movie on YouTube. Don't do it. It's not a good movie. Like, beyond, if the movie lived in a non-racist vacuum, it's still a shit movie. It bored the hell out of me. It's not good. And then you add all the racial tension onto it, and it just gets worse. And it's not good. I've ranted about this before. It was on my top 4 bad movies.
Opening scene. All right, so back when Chelsea and I first started going to Disney World, so like between the first 2 trips, I had this goal where I was like, I want to own every major Disney motion picture. And then obviously I knew of Song of the South and I knew I couldn't get it. So I had to obtain a bootleg. And I had actually never seen it before, or up to that point. I had never seen it. And I watched it in 2012, maybe 2011, 2012. And buddy, that opening scene where it shows all of the African Americans going to the fields, and I like that's the opening scene, and I'm like, how is this okay? I'll give you the answer. Not. It's not. It's not.
Yeah. But Jordan,
the book.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just being the sarcastic internet person saying, but Jordan, they're not actually slaves.
Enslaved.
I know. I was being the.
Yeah, I get you. But that's what I would say to him.
Oh right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I almost said it too, but I was like, no, I'm gonna dumb this person down.
Yeah. Have you guys ever read any of the Uncle Remus stories?
No, I don't think I have.
They're also quite racist because they're written, or they were collected and edited by Joel Chandler Harris, who's a white dude, and Joel Chandler Harris was a very racist man, and he collected all of these stories in order to profit off of them. Right? These are all African American folktales, and he was profiting off of them. So whenever he wrote him, he specifically went out of his way to write in what he thought the African American Southern dialect was, or the enslaved dialect, right?
That's stupid.
Which on paper just perpetuates this stereotype that African Americans are lower than, which is just, it's not true. Like, right, everybody is important, like everybody's equal, or should be equal, I should say. But it further perpetuates this white supremacist idea, and perpetuates these racial stereotypes, which is awful. And Joel Chandler
Yeah,
Harris
definitely.
actually has a historic house museum here in Atlanta called I think it's called the Wren's Nest, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, that's so like whenever he wrote it, it had a very white supremacist and racial undertone. Like it's awful. And then Walt Disney said, "I'm going to make this into a movie."
Right. That's like, look, I know it was a different time, but still.
It doesn't matter. It was still wrong then. Like that's
Right.
the thing. So this is what you run into, especially a lot in the history, in the museum and in history profession, is whenever somebody in the past does something shitty, like that's people's justification. Like, yeah, but it was just a different time back then. I'm like, it was a different time, but that didn't make it any less shitty because
Yeah.
people knew what they were doing. That's
Yeah.
like whenever I talk to people at my one of my jobs about enslavement in the 1900s or in the 1800s during the Civil War, people are like, yeah, but that was just like that's what you did back then. I'm like, no, people still had a choice to own people or not,
Yeah.
and they chose to own people and not give them rights. Like they knew what they were doing. It doesn't matter if it was 150 years ago, 300 years ago, or 1,000 years ago.
It was still wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
And we don't have to perpetuate that.
Oh well, they were just a product of their time. No,
Right.
let me
I'm just glad. I'm
No.
just glad they're finally fucking changing it because
Hey, Jordan's in the rant.
it's about
Hold on, Josh.
goddamn time.
Definitely.
Jordan, go ahead.
I can't remember what I was saying now.
Product of its time.
Yeah, no, like people will be like, oh well, they're just a product of their time. Everybody everywhere at all times is literally a product of their time. That means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's just you trying to justify liking a person who was shitty in the past. All these Confederate generals who are like on these monuments, well, that was just a different time. No, you just want to glorify shitty people. That's all you want to do.
Which is why we're in the fucking current state we're in.
Yep.
That and other things, but yes.
Treasonous shitty people, too.
Yeah, that's all right. We got a treasonous shitty person running the country.
Yeah, well, we got a treasonous shitty person at the seat that usually runs the country.
Yeah.
He's not running
Fair
anything.
enough.
But, no, so, yeah. This is the moment where I'm like, I'm glad we have a historian on our show.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know it's wrong. I know it was wrong then. And this, going back to what you were saying, Jordan, about in 1989, they decided to build this. And the movie came out when? 46.
Jeez.
Think about that. World War II had been over for a year. Enslavement had been illegal for not 100 years. Not less than a century prior. Like enslavement had been, oh God, 80 years? 80 years.
Jeez.
Wow.
So like all right, so I know that Louis C.K. is a very problematic person and he's a very shitty person, but he had a joke where he was talking about enslavement. He's like, that wasn't very long ago. That was 150 years ago is whenever enslavement became illegal. That's two 75-year-old people back to back. That's not very long ago.
No, and I just did the math. So roughly the time from enslavement ending to the Song of the South motion picture being developed, and then the time from the movie being developed to now is about the same amount of time. This is how far behind we are. And it's not that long.
Yeah.
We are just two Song of the South spans away. Just piggybacking on exactly what Jordan just said, but
I mean, and not to mention Zippity Doodah was based off of a song that the enslaved used to sing.
I didn't know that, and I've learned that this week.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
it's disgusting.
very interesting.
Also, I want to point out, like, I know that you and I have been using the term enslaved as opposed to slave, and I want to clear that up for the listeners. So the reason we're not using the word slave and the reason that we're using the word enslaved is because whenever the definition of a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. So whenever you say the word slave, does that imply that that is a person or a thing?
Thing.
Exactly. So
it's property.
But we know that slaves were people. They were people, right? So they were not slaves. They were people who lived under the institution of enslavement. People were enslaved, right? But at the time of enslavement, these people were not seen as things; they were seen as property. So, but again, in 2020, we know that was all wrong and immoral, and therefore they are enslaved people, not slaves.
We are completely allowed to change the vocabulary to say what it is, say what it was.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because it gets the idea across that these were people.
Yeah.
So, and I will freely admit, like I said when all this started last month in that very special episode we did, I am from conservative Utah. I am trying to learn and better myself every day. I am new to the whole enslaved people terminology, but I've fully embraced it, and that's where I am going forward now. Like, guys, it's okay to learn and change. There's nothing embarrassing about it.
I wanna throw out a book recommendation. So if we have any listeners out there that are curious about the history of racial inequality and racial tensions from the Civil War on, this clearly goes all the way back further, much further. But if you want to know from the Civil War and Civil War history and memory on to today, there's a really good book by Dr. David Blight called Race and Reunion. It's a very thick book. It's a tome, and it can be dry at times, but it's got a lot of really good information in it.
That's really interesting.
And it talks about basically how the system is set up to aid essentially white men. So
yeah,
good to know. I just looked it up. It is widely available. So
yeah,
feel free to. I'm
interested. I've been fortunate enough to see him speak.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that was fascinating.
He was touring.
Dad, you're muted, by the way.
He was touring for a book he wrote about Frederick Douglass.
Huh.
I don't know
anyway, so all that being said, where are we at in the Splash Mountain conversation? Because I feel like we keep derailing to relevant, but but not Splash Mountain.
I feel like we've really driven the point home on why Splash Mountain and Song of the South is not a good thing to be
in a Disney park
parading around in any form, especially now. So on that note, let's talk about its replacement.
Princess and the Frog.
That change is going to be really interesting to see, and I have a few ideas on how it could go, but it's Disney. We don't know.
I have my list of demands.
We can. I kind of feel like Mama Odie should be up at the top of the last hill, just doing the goofy stuff.
Hold on. I like where your head's at, Rob. Except for your idea completely contradicts the idea I had, so I don't like your idea. But
it just makes sense to me because she lives in a tree.
Oh shit! He's right.
And what's on top of the mountain? A big ass tree.
Okay, but before we get there,
I've been the only person over the weekend to get in fights on the internet about retheming Splash Mountain, and I feel like people on the internet want to argue with me for the stupidest things. For example, I got into 2 Twitter arguments this weekend One of them was over the theming of Splash Mountain, and some theme park purist tried to pull some swerves that I wasn't allowing. And then the other argument was about potato chips.
What?
Oh, buddy.
I didn't see this one.
I had the dumbest Twitter interaction with somebody who was angry about potato chips.
Oh God.
Do I need to elaborate on this story?
Later.
How how do you think you can crunch it down into like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
All right.
So a friend of mine put out a not a friend of mine, just a guy I follow on Twitter, put out a Twitter poll about Doritos, nacho cheese or Cool Ranch. Like just which one do you like better? And my joke answer was neither, and I shared a picture of the Doritos taco flavors because those are fucking delicious. And then somebody,
They're also the original flavor too.
Exactly. Somebody responded to me, just said these were disappointing. That was it. That was the entire tweet. Somebody I don't follow, somebody I don't know, just a person on the internet who saw that tweet and said, I need to tell this guy that I thought these were disappointing. That's what it was.
Stupid.
So I responded and I said, you misspelled delicious. And then he's like, no, I didn't. I'm pretty sure I meant like whatever it was. Like I meant disappointing. And I was like, you sure? I'm pretty sure you meant delicious.
And secondly, do you even know where Doritos
God
originally
damn it,
came
Robbie!
from?
I'm in the middle of a thing.
Sorry.
Sit on your hands.
I love your moxie, but calm down. So a guy, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you meant delicious, but whatever. And then the dude came at me and said, no, that's not what I said. Oh, no, wait, hold on, let me back up. And then I said, if you want to talk about some awful potato chips, here, these are awful. And then I shared my tweet about the Baconator potato chips from a couple days ago, which are terrible, by the way. They taste like farts.
Why do you know what farts taste like?
Well, I don't know what they taste like, but when you smell stuff, you can kind of taste it.
They're connected.
Yeah,
that's not
like
what
that.
You said, though.
Yeah.
Onions actually have no flavor.
So anyway, so I sent him that tweet, and then he just disregards the joke, and it was like, yeah, I didn't say they were awful at all. I said they were disappointing. You need to go back and check your reading comprehension skills.
Holy shit.
Is Josh peeing?
Josh, the hell?
Nope. I'm washing my hands.
Can it wait?
I'm cleaning my bathroom, so I'm washing my hands, get it to pee off my hands.
So I'm like, the fucking audacity of this person to just reply to me out of nowhere. So I replied back, and I was like, buddy, I don't give a shit if you like the chips or not. It was a goddamn joke. And seeing as how I joked with you in not one tweet, but 2 tweets, I don't think my reading comprehension skills are the issue. And this morning at 7 a.m., as I'm on my way out the door to work, the dude sends me a tweet at 7 a.m.
Oh, God.
saying, you forced your joke on me twice, and it wasn't funny.
Oh, God.
And then I replied, I was like, right. Buddy, you were the one that responded to me first. You really, so either you're coming back for some dumb Twitter arguments, or you're just a glutton for punishment. I don't know which one it is. Happy Monday. And then I just blocked the fucker.
Wow. So you got accused of comedic assault.
It was about a goddamn potato chip.
Tortilla chip, Jordan, come on.
Somebody actually like responded to me and went, it's a corn chip, Jordan. And then I was like, that's a fucking funny tweet. Like, that's good. So I gave them the mic. Hey, that's
Wow.
just one of the Twitter arguments I got in this weekend.
Yeah, I want to talk about the other one.
Yeah, the other one was Splash Mountain. So, because Splash Mountain is being rethemed, a lot of the Splash apologists and the theme park purists just started to weasel their way out of the internet just to complain about something that is already in the process of changing anyway. So it was all moot. Like all they wanted to do was just bitch. So you had a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Entitled Disney people that coming out singing their greatest hits, going, "I'm canceling my AP. Disney's not getting any more of my money. I'm never gonna go. They're only appealing to the liberals." So like all those fucking dumb greatest hits that nobody even cares about. Like just whatever.
Yeah.
Good. I really wish one day you would live up to the fact that you're not going to be at Disney anymore, because that's one less person I have to go through to get to Disney.
True.
So does anybody else have to say anything about that before we go on about the retheming?
Well, just I just want to expand on that that particular argument that you were having, because I tried to talk about it with you yesterday, because I'm an idiot and somehow can't convey my words into text. So I ran into this too. Well, I saw it multiple times. There are these people saying that Princess and the Frog isn't going to fit in Frontierland. That's thematically incorrect.
Who cares?
How the hell does Splash Mountain fit into Frontierland, Jordan?
It doesn't.
What?
It doesn't.
Last time I checked, the closest bayou to Monument Valley wasn't right next door. It was on the other side of the country, far away from the frontier. Just saying. Just saying. And like my tweet said, buddy, well, not to this guy, just a general buddy. Splash Mountain also does not fit into Frontierland. We're all just used to it.
Yeah.
So
oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Rob. No, you keep starting. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
So when you first sent that to the group, I was slightly shocked, but I completely understand why they're changing it. And I get the reason why people are bad-mouthing it. Like, it is a good ride. It's just the stuff that's in it is, of course, morally wrong. And it's way past its time to change. So I'm fine with this. And as I said, I was shocked at first.
Right.
Because, as you said, Jake, we're so used to the ride.
Yeah, and that's exactly, like, we've become numb to it.
Yeah.
But change is good, and we should embrace
Definitely.
this change. But, like, oh shit, what was I just going to say about the theming?
I don't know. It's going to be very interesting.
I think it'll be fine. Like,
Yeah.
if you accept it.
But Jake, there's no mountains in New Orleans.
Damn it, Jordan, there's no mountains in the vacuum of space, and nobody complains about that either.
There's no mountains. It has to be geographically correct. So not only does it not fit in Frontierland, but there are just no mountains in New Orleans.
Last I checked, Jordan, Internet Jordan, there's also no Bavarian castles in Fort Collins, Colorado. Just saying.
Yeah, that's just terrible theming. They should know better.
Oh, so Walt was wrong. Good.
Oh, I got what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a castle at the end of Main Street.
Yeah,
Main
it took
Street
me a
was-
bit. I'm like,
yeah.
what?
Main Street was based on Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah, I
Inspired by
forgot about that
Marceline.
fact.
Based on Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Anyway, Josh, you had something to say?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, anyway. However, I noticed all the theming issues are taking place in Magic Kingdom, because I am here to tell you that in Disneyland, Princess and the Frog could not be a more perfect transition from New Orleans Square to Critter Country. Like that, name a better transition. It covers both perfectly. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it works.
this
But,
sucker is...
to go back to Magic Kingdom real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing that there needs to be is fucking beignets. We need
Yes.
beignets at Magic Kingdom.
Yes, I agree with this.
I don't disagree with it. I'll take beignets, but I mean, what does that have to do with a ride?
You get one before the ride.
No, it's not at Costco.
It's not a Costco.
No, they need to put it in a fucking snack booth that serves beignets. That's all I'm saying.
And you know where it can go? The Briar Patch. The store.
I want to get off. I want to get off the
Yeah.
ride, whatever the fuck they're gonna call it. Better not be splash anything. And I
Fine.
want to go. I want to go and get beignets.
Yes.
I agree
So
with this. Go ahead.
I posted a tweet on Saturday saying, I put this in quotes. It says, New Orleans doesn't have any mountains, end quote, is one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard about the retheming of Splash Mountain. And I think it confused a lot of people because they thought that I was clinging on to Splash Mountain when that wasn't the case. I was like, no, it needs to be changed. And then I had just this one account. Don't follow this person. Just went, why? And I said, like, it doesn't fucking matter what, like, it's Princess and the Frog is perfectly fine going in the ride because it doesn't matter if New Orleans doesn't have any mountains, which, by the way, it does. They're just man-made and they're not very tall. Like, you're talking at like 40 feet above sea level at most. So it's not very big, but they are, and they're also man-made.
So is Splash Mountain.
Yeah. So it just it baffles me that the people who are Splash Mountain purists are really clinging on to the mountain part of that title.
Yeah.
Because only like 5% of the goddamn ride. The rest of the ride is a log ride inside the structure. And if that ride wasn't Splash Mountain, like if it was Splash River or Splash whatever, if it didn't say, yes, Jake.
No, finish your thought. I'm next in line. It's a cue.
If it didn't say Splash Mountain, people wouldn't even be having the mountain argument. And that's what baffles me. So my counter argument to him was, it doesn't matter if there's no fucking mountains in New Orleans. Like trying to use the geographical accuracy or the topographical accuracy of New Orleans for a ride, or for an attraction ride based on a movie that has nothing to do, or that has everything to do with magic and fantasy. Like, the ride can be anything it wants because the movie is already fantasy. Like, it doesn't exist. Therefore, you can make the ride fit the movie. And if it just so happens that part of the ride, they go up and come down a hill-like structure, shouldn't be your fucking argument to keep Splash the way it is. Because I think that's...
Right. And now, two things. First, attacking the whole mountain argument. Because if we're going to split hairs here, what is the summit of Splash Mountain called? What is that structure with the log? What is it called?
Isn't it Chickapin Hill?
Chickapin Hill! Chickapin Hill! Chickapin Hill has no mountains. It's a hill.
Also a hill, not a mountain.
Not a mountain.
Good point.
So, if you want to use their own stupid logic against them, Splash Mountain has no mountains. There, done. Second, to piss off these people, these very same people, I demand that the ride be called Bayou Mountain.
That's one weird name.
But Jake, there's no bayous and mountains.
I know! There's no mermaids on Chickapin Hill, but we still named it after that movie.
It's so fucking weird. I think that's the biggest reason why I want it gone. like honestly.
Just a fuck you to Michael Eisner. That's 2 this year. Damn it. Yeah, you know what? It's 2020. I'm gonna give myself a pass.
Yeah.
I'll borrow from 2021. But anyway, yeah, that argument. One more thing from me, real quick. My favorite aspect of Splash Mountain is not leaving. I love the ride. If it
Yeah.
was a stripped down log flume, it would still be fun. That's the part that really matters, and it's not going anywhere. Except we're getting really awesome scenery around it now.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Oh, can I ask something real fast?
Sure.
How do you guys feel? So I saw this argument a lot where people are like, I don't think Princess and the Frog should just be an overlay. I think it should get its own ride. Like,
Well,
But
that would
here's
be
the deal.
cool and all. It's just,
I'm not opposed to that either, but I also don't think that a Princess and the Frog retheme is also not a terrible idea.
yeah.
I saw it as a perspective thing. Here's the way I framed it in my mind. Like, we have this ride based on a super racist movie, based on an even more racist book from a white supremacist author, and it is being toppled and kicked out by the Princess of the Frog, and I thought that was glorious.
Yeah.
Like that is
Yeah,
triumphant.
That's a
that
good
makes
point,
me happy.
Jake.
And honestly, Tiana is one of my favorite fucking princesses anyhow.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. I just watched.
I'm glad she's getting some representation in the park.
Yeah.
Tiana is my favorite princess.
She's in my top 3, easy. Like,
So
without,
that means she's number 3?
no, I'd say number 2.
Okay.
I'd have to think about it. I mean, that is hard. You know what? She might be tied for number 2. I don't know, man. This is rough. Oh, because like we're considering Moana a princess, right?
She is a princess.
Okay, good.
Well,
Because
yeah.
I would say like my top 3, in no particular order, would be Tiana, Moana, and Merida. I love Brave. Brave is
All
so
3
good.
of those are really good.
Yeah, those are fantastic. So, but I forgot where we're going with this. Oh, Tiana getting representation in the park. Yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
It's really good.
and it's about damn time. I watched the
I
day
love the
this
fact that I'm just going to get more than a meet and greet and maybe a sighting at a parade.
yeah. The day this was announced, I went back and rewatched Princess and the Frog. Just
Mhm.
like watching it with the mindset that this is going to be a ride, and I was super excited about it. And just like imagining which scenes could be which parts of the ride. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, the take you down song, that could be the laughing place. I thought like
that'd be cool.
going up the hill. I want the other side.
Wasn't the write-up saying that it was going to continue the story? The ride was going to continue the story of Princess
Shit.
and the Frog?
After the ending, that's why I want some kind of restaurant at the exit queue.
I forgot about that part.
Listen,
Yeah, that'd be
so-
awesome.
for the record, and I'm going to say this officially here on the Mickey Mutineers podcast, so all 4 of our listeners can hear it here first. I am more than okay if this leads to a complete retheme of Frontierland, and Frontierland just goes the way of the dodo. I love Big Thunder Mountain, but if we can just sit there and retheme Pecos Bills to Tiana's Place, if we could retheme, I don't know, I still think you could probably get away with the Country Bears in some kind of Louisiana setting, because Louisiana just isn't South Louisiana. It could be North Louisiana. And North Louisiana is like Arkansas light.
Yeah.
Can we change the Country Bears to Lester's Possum Park?
Oh, shit. Can we? Hell
Can
yeah.
we? Yeah.
Can we? We just did.
Hey,
Whoa.
Jordan, who's your favorite possum?
Lester!
I don't
Oh,
remember this. Which one was what movie was that from?
from Goofy movie.
I'm gonna have to watch that again.
You damn well better watch that, because that movie is fantastic. Here's the thing. Jordan just brought up a good point. Because when you were talking about retheming Frontierland, just completely going the way of the dodo, I had a visceral, immediate reaction where I was like, no! But then as you were talking, I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm not in love with Frontierland. I'm in love with Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So, because I was thinking about it, and like, Big Thunder Mountain would be the one thing that would stick out, right? Because you can, that whole Frontier, like, let's just say that they decided to retheme Frontierland in the Magic Kingdom to another New Orleans Square, right? It would be easy
awesome
to convert over Pecos Bills. It'd be easy to do something with Country Bears. And even if you want to incorporate Country Bears to it, you still can. Like, I don't think that Country Bears is too far gone to where it won't fit into a Louisiana theme. But and the Mark Twain, the riverboat, that shit goes up and down the Mississippi River all the damn time, so that's fine. Tom Sawyer Island, and there's tons of islands off of the coast of the Gulf Coast. So the fact that islands exist isn't an anomaly. And really, the only sore thumb is Big Thunder Mountain. And like as you said, like I love Big Thunder Mountain. I'm not married to Frontierland. I just really like Big Thunder Mountain.
Right.
True.
Can we just paint the rocks like trees? Call it Big Forest Mountain? I don't know. I do really like Thunder Mountain. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
And this is what it all comes down to me. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And I want to just scream this from the rooftops every time something like this happens on Twitter or in the Disney community. Guys, they're theme parks.
Yeah, things change.
They are an entertainment division for our benefit, and we have like I love Thunder Mountain. If they announced it was going, okay, I'd get over it. It's a theme park. It's a roller coaster.
It's a great roller coaster.
Right, but
shit changes.
Right, exactly. I think there's like probably 2 rides where I would be really upset and eventually get over if they called out that they were getting rid of them, and it would be Haunted Mansion and Space Mountain.
Definitely.
And you all know that I'm on board with bulldozing Jungle Cruise and Magic Kingdom tomorrow. I don't even care. But guys, it's a theme park. I love the theme park. I love these theme parks. We run a damn Disney podcast, but it's for our own enjoyment, and the theme park is for our enjoyment. It's a private company who doesn't owe us anything. We go, we pay them money, we ride their rides. Woo!
Yeah.
I understand these people who think that they deserve any kind of say in this.
Yeah,
And that's what it boils down to with me. I love Splash Mountain. I'm even more excited for what it becomes.
Definitely.
Before I forget, going back to that Twitter, like I wouldn't even call this an argument because the person I was talking to was actually very, very civil. And so I was like, yeah, it's like the ride can be anything because the movie is a movie about magic and fantasy. Like it doesn't have to be real because it's also in a park called the Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
True.
But their counter argument was like, well, it's got to be reality with elements of fantasy because it's Frontierland. And I'm like, listen, I get what you're saying. And like, and in fairness, I will admit that they had a point. I just didn't agree with that point. And and then the person came back at me with some like Walt quote, and I said, listen, I can't get on board with this because this is a quote from Walt from over 50 plus years ago pertaining to a park he wasn't even talking about, like didn't even exist whenever he was alive. So or wasn't even in like the conceptual phase. Like this is more than likely a quote pertaining specifically to Disneyland in the context of Disneyland in the 1950s. We all know that the face of these parks have changed drastically many times in the last 50 years. So trying to apply a Walt quote to something that's going on in the park today does not fly with me.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know who was big on changing things in the parks? Walt. Like, I hate when people go to the altar of Walt. I hate it. They don't know. They don't know him. They never knew him. They don't know what he would do. A lot's changed in the 40, 50 years since he died. A lot.
Definitely.
So, yeah, when people use that argument, it's an automatic, nope. So.
Yeah, and even, here's a bit of a, I'm doing a Walt quote, but he even said that change is going to happen.
Yeah, Disneyland's not a museum.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just, even though I'm doing a Walt quote, that is a perfectly good one to use. Because these things change.
Right.
It happens. We're fine with it.
Also, I want to just clarify that I'm not shitting on Walt. Walt was an amazing dude.
Definitely. I'm
Jordan,
not trying to either.
I mean, we all love Walt, but he had his faults.
Yeah. We call him Walt faults. At least we do starting now.
he wasn't a saint. He made a lot of stuff that we enjoy, but he wasn't a saint.
No, like, I think to do what he did, or what a lot of, big entrepreneurs do, you have to... There's always some sketch involved. But, I mean, here we are, doing a Disney podcast. Walt created great things. Walt stopped creating great things on his deathbed. And now the company has moved forward and stopped going to the altar of Walt.
Definitely.
Walt. Cult of Walt.
Yes! He's not a saint. Wow, this... this took a hell of a turn.
Yeah. Do we even have time for the
No, absolutely not.
lawn chair?
No,
we'll do it next week.
Yeah,
this will be a two-parter.
So stay tuned next week because we're gonna retheme another mountain. And on that note, wrong show. Hey!
I messed it up, Jake.
Yeah, guys, it's been a while, okay?
Yeah, it has.
Oh, real quick, if you made it to the end of this episode, go check out the new Jake Box track on our YouTube page.
Oh yeah, I listened to that. That was real good.
Hey, thanks. I liked it. It was fun. I believe it was Jordan's idea. He said it on this podcast. Remember, you were like, "Hey, you should do that Rick Astley song, but like his other song." So I did.
Together forever and ever.
Come to find out, it's the exact same chord progression as the other song. And if you listen to the whole song, you'll see why. Anyway, hey, you've been listening to the Mickey Mutineers. Did you miss us? Don't lie. I'm Jake, that's Josh, that's Jordan, that's Robbie, as always.
Have a day.